All right, everyone. The timing of this is obviously telling, which is in the state of New York, the Democrats there have been pushing a bill. They're attempting to give the state's commissioner the ability to give like Trump's tax material to the federal government, like basically because the House Judiciary is looking into every aspect of Trump's life. They need permission in order to actually obtain many of those materials at the state level because Trump, resident of New York City for I think most or all of his life, basically. And so they're trying to do that to clear the way for, the House Judiciary probe. And it's very, very funny because they never requested this or even seriously talked about it during the Mueller era. And it's very funny because I think they expected that the Mueller probe was going to turn up dirt on Trump and end his presidency. When that became clear that that wasn't going to happen, they started mumbling about his tax returns again. You'll remember at first that was their main line of attack. Oh my God, Trump didn't pay enough taxes. Trump released this piece of paper, but it's not enough. Basically, we want to see fucking everything that's happened. And he tried telling people that he's been under perpetual audit for multiple years for a very long time. Therefore, his legal team told him not to release the material to the public, as any competent lawyer would. This looked mysterious to people who have never had to deal, I think, with, attorneys, accountants, things of that nature. It's like they may not have a full grasp of how dire the situation could be if you get audited. It's like, basically cough up your records and everything. But you better hope that you didn't, cheat out on your taxes at all. You can go to prison for a few dollars. And so Trump, on the advice of his legal teams, like, that's not going to happen. And now all of a sudden they're concerned about that again. For 2 years they weren't concerned about it. They didn't fucking care because they thought the Mueller probe was more juicy. They thought it would work, and then it hasn't worked. And so now they're trying to rush out. Oh my God, we're going to salvage the situation. Quickly, we must change tactics from, Mueller probe collusion or obstruction, which they stopped talking about because it's nonsense, to taxes. We want all of Trump's tax returns. It was very funny to see, Cortez there when Trump was talking about not giving out his taxes due to audit. And she's like, well, we weren't asking you. Basically, like I have bigger balls than you and stuff. It's very, very funny to see a junior representative who is quickly losing power within even her own party and basically was a, cult of personality flash in the pan attempting to go toe-to-toe with the president of the United States. Very, very funny. Not the greatest strategy. I'm sure that impresses her little fans. It doesn't impress anyone else. It just makes her look petulant, basically. And she is, but, she looks the part now as well. Very, very funny indeed. But the Democrats want to waste time. It's obvious that at this point they don't intend to work on legislation. They don't intend to make any major policy proposals because they don't want to negotiate. They're looking forward. They're putting all their eggs in one basket, which is 2020, essentially. They're going forward into that, and they're trying to appease their fan base while doing outreach with the centrists, so-called. And so their answer is, well, we've got to keep a dark cloud over Trump's head. We've got to default to the tax returns again. I wouldn't be surprised if they would like to come out and Me Too him a little bit more and talk about how he's like piggish or sexist or something, but then there have been so many scandals within the Democratic Party over the last couple of years, it's become impossible to do that. Hell, Joe Biden and fucking Al Franken and all these people, every single one of them seems to be some sort of pervert. So it's become rather difficult. You haven't heard much about it. And then, of course, in policy, Trump hasn't done anything like, hyper Jesus mode or anything, so they've stopped talking about how he's supposedly desperately homophobic and racist as well, despite the fact that that's bullshit. So it's very funny to watch the political trajectory at the moment, actually, because they really, they keep screwing up. In all honesty, they should have been pushing the tax return bullshit anyway to begin with. They could have, had such a bill passed a year ago or something. I don't know why they stood out of the way. I guess they didn't want to interfere with the limelight of the Mueller probe. They didn't want to take the spotlight away from that because it was more interesting to people. And this is sort of like second banana mode because, nobody fucking cares about Trump's taxes. You don't even hear much about it from the left anymore, but they're going to keep trying to make it an issue. Schiff up there, man, he just sits there and he rambles for hours and hours about these issues. That's about all. Peace out.